Yeah, my name is Peninah Ndegwa. I'm the founder and the managing director of WowMom. And WowMom is a social enterprise that advocates for children-friendly cities. So for me, I'm a convertee of Naomi because when I met her many years ago, I never understood why she was championing for women until I got pregnant, and the rest is history. So as WowMom, we are all about ensuring that children are included in planning and designing and implementation of cities so that they're able to thrive. And I won't go into, those are the sectors that we mostly work in water, sanitation, and hygiene, where we advocate for baby changing station, women economic empowerment, policy development, and lots of research and policy development. So if you think about how children travel in Nairobi, having a stroller is an ideal, but unfortunately the system or the transport cannot be able to make this happen. So for me, I always use this slide, I think, for the last many conferences, because I've not seen any change in the sector. So women would want to use a stroller, but are they able? Is the public transport enabling them to do this? Do we have even enough space for the strollers to be docked? And when it also comes to transport, I'm right now very happy with what Cyprian is doing in terms of pushing for autonomous, because again, we've not seen more children cycling in the urban spaces, especially in the cities. We only have to cycle in Karura Forest and within the estates where it's very limited. So if you come to the public transport, again, women, you're always carrying a bag and have a baby. Either you're forced to pay 2 seats to be able to, be comfortable, or at least sit on the aisle seat. And also when pregnant, I have to say, from experience, these aisles are not even convenient. So as a result, as a woman pregnant or either traveling with a child, public transport also become very inconveniencing. Not forgetting, in terms of queuing, the long queues when you need to access. So what we've been doing as WowMom is working with cities. This is Kisumu City, where we did sensitization, working directly with children, because nothing is for them without them. So we worked with them, trying to train them from early on how to get involved in street design. And we also did a free day with them, also with the name of also, making them advocates and even going to implementation. But this is what I think. Transport is not an isolation. We have to think about where the children are going to. Why do even children move in the first place? They need to access schools, daycares, and other services. So we have to integrate land use planning and transport planning. And I like to tell my story. I will cut it short again. I wanted to test how the public transport is traveling with a child. This is my daughter. She was 1 at the time. And then in Nairobi CBD, she soiled her diapers and I needed to find a place to change her diapers. And I couldn't access, there are many public toilets, but I couldn't get one that I could change her. And I remember going to CJ restaurant, took advantage of that time. Bought coffee I didn't need, took advantage of that time to change my baby. And for me, that was the realization. Does this actually affect how? Because until then, I realized every time I'm traveling with her, I would use our car or Uber. I never use public transport. So we did a research trying to understand, does this actually affect how women travel with their children? And we found out that 84% of women avoid traveling with their children because of lack of baby changing station. For me, this is exclusion. If a woman fails to travel with a baby, that means the cities we are designing in the transport system, they will not be enjoyed by the same children. So after a long process of innovation, now we do have our own baby changing station that we've installed across the country, including some bus terminuses, like OTC. We have Greenpark terminus, we have a baby changing station, and the goal is to spread all over the country. If you would want to adopt a baby changing station in any public terminus, please talk to me. We're happy to make that happen. And in the process of implementing this, we went to Gikomba Market, because again, that's where mothers frequent with their children to work. And we found that children were sleeping on the floor. And what we did, we were concerned. We were like, how comes these children will be staying in this dark room, sleeping on the carton boxes for a whole day? So again, we renovated the space to make it child-friendly. And before we knew it, it became a daycare. And having conversation with County Government of Nairobi, now we have an MOU that enables us to provide daycare services in the market center. So that's how our daycares look like. I don't know if I'm able to play the video. Unfortunately, I'm not able to. But basically, these are women, 90% of the women who we serve in the daycare centers access either by public transport or walking. In fact, we receive children, in Morero, it's just located in Nairobi CBD. And while we have a couple of mothers and children who live around who either walk, they have to cross a very wide roundabout at Karioko roundabout, extremely risky. And so we're always thinking about how we can, work towards improving making some intervention. And they also have to board public transport. So it's also very inconveniencing for them to drop their children. And also thinking about streets being more than just for mobility. In informal settlements, this is where children play. So you have to make sure that they're safe, they are convenient, and children are able to be protected. And most importantly, them being able to access spaces without being accompanied by their parents. That's extremely critical. So accessing spaces, and for me, I think this year I've seen less of these temporary interventions compared to the other years. And for me, the question is, why do we always have to make temporary interventions? And yet we do have money to build very expensive infrastructure. So it's really, for me, a matter of prioritization, and it's time that we invested. So I'm happy at least with Namata is here, and at least with all this commitment to increase for investment in walking and cycling, that's a step in the right direction. And most importantly, even for public transport sector, let's see more prioritization. Let's see more children and caregivers having priority seat. Let me not queue and then have to go scramble for a seat at the back of the matatu. I should just know that the moment somebody sees me with a child, they should just give me that priority. And also moving into electric mobility, because again, these children, you've seen how the hose pipes, I don't know what to call it, all that fumes, the children have to breathe as they accompany their parents to commuting. So we need to make sure that it's convenient. So thank you so much.